Okay, I think we actually already have like 9 of us present here. And I think it's not an issue if I start going through the like the mandatory reminders and stuff like that. So I will try to do it then a bit faster. So I will start now. So welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. Today is the 11th of February 2026. My name is Adam Rosman and I will be your host today. Let me check if there are any new participants. No, so we can skip introductions. Then let's continue with the reminders. Please remember that the meeting is recorded. If anyone would like to have the project, then please filter for good first issue or have wanted labels, and by working on these issues, solving these problems, you would have the project, and the good first issue labels are a good entry point for new contributors. And I would like to ask all the experienced community members to please create these issues that the newcomers can work on. Then if you think that your organization would be willing to publicly acknowledge the adoption of Metal3, then please create a pull request for the community repo, the Metal3 io/community repo, and edit the adopters.md file in the root of the repository. And that way you would have the project gauge the level of adoption and learn about use cases and potential partners. And I would like to highlight that last week we got a disclosure from Mistral AI. Thank you for that. Thank you for publicly acknowledging the adoption of Metal3. It's good to see that there are new adopters doing this. Then flake trackers, if you think that you are experiencing a test failure or any other CI failures, or the commands don't work on your pull request, or whatever is the case, but you think it's related to CI, then please create an issue in the affected repository and link it to the Metal3 CI tracker. I will start discussion with a few folks how to actually make it a bit easier to track these flakes, but so far I don't really see much better ways to report it if it's not coming directly from like our more often looked at tests. So if it's some edge case that only one person is noticing, or a subset of the community, it's easier if you folks report it right away, and then it's easier to then follow up. Okay. Other than that, if any of you are interested about any other statistics, deliverables, documentation, feel free to check out the links here in this document, or on the website, or on the main GitHub page of the organization. And that's all for reminders. Then the next thing is the working groups. I'm just quickly checking the chat. So nothing in there. Okay. So community working groups, is there anyone who would like to bring up anything related to the community working groups, or comment on them, or anything?
Just on the one, I wonder if the discussion topic that is about the multi-arch efforts shouldn't be in the working group update, in fact.
Yep. That sounds reasonable. I can move it here. And I can tabulate it very quickly. And and we can actually discuss it then as the first topic, and it's from Serhi. Are you in the meeting?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I was on mute. Yeah, I wanted to highlight that some changes are in there, and also I wanted to highlight that there was an issue with image. Ironic image CI, but I guess it kind of solved itself. I see green tests already, so I presume we can land this if we don't have any objections. Maybe reiterate on ironic changes.
Yeah, I think last time I looked at it, it was already okay. I just asked for some documentation. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I've updated documentation, moved pieces to macros, kind of like improved a bit more. It's not only about multi-arch now. Basically, everything can be configurable there. I guess we can merge it. I mean, as long as I already touch it everywhere.
yeah, I think from my side, this was fine. And yeah, I retriggered the tests because we had quite a few problems here and there with the CI. But now it's largely functioning in good order. So yeah, I think this looks fine. So from my side, this is approved. And last time we discussed it in detail here, the approach and everything. And then you had, and this one is the related change.
It has some changes around. I don't think we can merge it just yet. I highlighted Dmitry about one thing I wanted to get some context from. I don't see him on the calls.
No, so I actually had a look at the ironic standalone operator change, and it looks good to me. Dimitri will be out for a while, by the way, but I can like have a look again and see exactly what like. Do you have a specific comment there from Dimitri?
Yes. I was highlighting Twitter because he was basically doing this. I think the prop thing with external exec props, right, on with curl, and one of the review points was that it was TLS. I didn't specifically think about it, but when I saw that this get mentioned, I think there might be a problem in how we use this like plain probe on HTTP endpoint. I'm not sure. I did not test that change, so I would like someone to actually look at this and like we can talk on the commit message itself to understand what we want. I do want to avoid exec probes. Like I don't like them, but if there is no possibility to like do it, I mean the TLS part, right?
I think yes. I think it was the same comment that I left or similar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I put the LGTM because I understand that. I mean, it should be fine because we're not taking into consideration that the TLS there. There's like we can revisit this with a follow-up once I don't know once Dimitri is back if you want, or if you want to leave it open. I don't have anything like against the current implementation, honestly. So
if we're okay with follow-up, I can take the merge thing, check it on my end. If it breaks, I will do follow-up. Not a big problem. So
consider that we just released Ironic standalone operator, so we're starting kind of a new development cycle. So even if there is any issue, we have a lot of time to fix it.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm totally okay. I'm totally okay with that.
I will build it from master, not a problem.
And for the ironic image change, please give me like today or maybe tomorrow morning at the latest to have a look, because I really didn't have time for that. But I will find some time between today and tomorrow to review it. But I think it's okay. I had a quick look and I didn't see anything like obvious that need changing, or I didn't have any concern there. I just want to have a little a deeper look. That's all.
Yeah, there is a lot of bash in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's most of the stuff that can be said about this pull request. So then please also others, if you are interested in this, feel free to review. It's quite an in-depth topic of customizing the boot process itself. But okay, I think we can continue. And I don't think we have anything for AI at the moment, or ironic scalability. Yeah, okay, and artifact-wise neither, so we can continue with the release team. Invite trying to check the chat. Okay, nothing in the chat. So release team and roadmap, and you have one comment, Ricardo, that
Oh yeah,
ironic,
just the announcement that we released the ironic image 34 and ironic standalone operator 0.8. That's all. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, thanks for working on the releases. I also wanted to mention that new set of patches are expected to come in the next 2 weeks for PEM3, IPEM, BMO. Especially, it might be interesting for PEM3 and BMO for most folks, because there was some change reverted on these related to request handling, like object request handling. So when the controller manager requests a list of object in a namespace and stuff like that. So there is some revert that might affect production environment. So it is recommended, in my opinion, to quickly upgrade to the new patch versions when they came out. But we can discuss more about those when the patches are out, or the patch releases are out. Any comment, questions related to the release team or roadmap? There will be, actually, because I think it wasn't publicly stated who will be the new release team members, but it's, I think, in general the same, but the release team should be a bit more open to the whole community, and we have discussed that before. But I'm not on the release team right now, so I don't want to start that discussion. So please, whoever is interested in release activities, and you think that you would like to work on releases, or at least shadow the release team, please contact these release team members who are listed. At least let them know that you would be someone who is interested to at least learn the release process. Maybe that's something that I will always mention on the following meetings. That's something that I will add to the reminders, because I just want to make it more community focused, and I think many of the community members would like to make this release process more open to the community, as we discussed. Yep. Okay, that was just a comment, a note on the side note. So let's continue with the discussion topics, And then the first one is from Leonard.
Hey,
And-
so maybe I can add a little bit more context,
Okay.
if that's okay. So I'm currently in the process of using Metal3 with some NVIDIA GB200 servers, so ARM-based, that use an AMI firmware, but rebranded as a Dell firmware, which confuses Ironic when trying to apply Redfish parameters. So Ricardo was very helpful to help me troubleshoot this issue. But as it currently stands, Metal3 cannot be used without modification, because we need to patch some Ironic node properties. At least set the vendor to AME, made Metal3 and Ironic able to handle the GB200. But without it, it's not possible to handle like those server SKUs. So that's why I'm opening this issue to like at least propose a way to set additional properties on Ironic. And I just saw your comment, Adam, and it looks okay to me. I think it's fine. I suggested the annotation as well, because it's not a breaking change. At least it doesn't add a new field to the bare metal host API. But I'm open to discuss this.
Yeah, I stand by my comment. I much more like specs than annotations and labels and any of these things. It's at least in my opinion, specs are clear, and they can be found easily in the API documentation. But apart from that, I understand the use case and it's legitimate in my opinion. Of course, Ironic gives you the opportunity to edit these descriptions, extra stuff, properties, and many other things on its API. But as I wrote down, we should not map it one-to-one to BMH or to BMO. I mean, we shouldn't map the Ironic API to the BMH. So if you are okay with implementing this one generic variable that would store all these provisioner specific key value pairs, then I'm fine with it, because then we can let the provisioners decide how they deal with these things that are needed for them to handle things, but they are not sort of how would I say, like they are not like a generic like host lifecycle management attribute, like let's say like network data or a BMC address or these things that are like generic enough to be on the abstraction level of the BMH. So yeah, if you are fine with what I wrote here, you liked it, then I'm fine with accepting this.
Okay. Then I will work on a draft implementation.
So if I can add something there. So first of all, thanks for that, Leonard, and thanks also for your patch in Ironic. As you saw, it was merged pretty quickly.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, I mean, it's something that, I mean, thanks to you for the help. It's always good to have more set of eyes on the Ironic code, since it's like quite big. Yeah, what I wanted to say is just that I agree with Adam in terms of the mapping and the implementation moving forward. One thing that I would suggest here, since I understand very well the problem of the Ironic confusion in terms of understanding the exact vendor, the exact model of of a specific host. The problem is that it looks like that vendors kind of like do that almost on purpose. No, I'm just kidding, of course. But I think it would be helpful if you would bring this issue also in the community, in the Ironic community upstream. The exact issue with the confusion of like the real vendor there, and maybe we can find a solution in how we detect the models, or in this case specifically the IDRAC, because how we do that now, I understand it's very restrictive, let's say, so it's prone to errors as we saw. So yeah, like thanks again, and keep that in mind if you have the time and want to bring that up also to the Ironic community. Would be nice.
So I completely agree with you. I'm okay with bringing that up to the Ionic community and being, let's say, in charge of at least explaining the issue. But I would also like to push forward with like the BMO changes, just because I'm quite time constrained, let's say, and I would like avoid to maintain my own fork of BMO.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
If that's fine for you guys to go like both routes, like actually having
absolutely
the BMO changes. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't want to like give you the choice between one or the other.
Okay.
Like, of course, I'm totally okay with what you proposed. But again, it would be like really helpful for the extended Ironic community, not only for Metal3 to understand the problem better and find a solution, like a more general solution, also for the future, because I'm pretty sure we will find this type of situation for other vendors as well.
Yeah, definitely. Based on some feedbacks I got, a lot of vendors do that in the HPC world.
Yes, exactly. And with OpenBNC, is like you see a lot of interesting things there. So I'm telling you, because downstream we deal a lot with NVIDIA as well, and well, we saw a lot of like weird stuff. So, but anyway, thanks.
Okay, thanks for your feedback. Then I think we're good on that topic.
Thank you. Once more, I just commented all the relevant stuff to the PR. And anyone else would like to comment or ask anything related to this extra provisional properties or related to the issue itself?
Just about the extra provisional properties, we just have to make sure when doing the implementation that how we want it to behave if we kind of override something that is already set by the bare metal operator. Otherwise, like, I don't know if you set through these loss provisional properties, say architecture, will it override what would be set with the already existing architecture field, or would it be the other way around? This is something that may be interesting to kind of settle before the implementation, or maybe this can be a discussion during the implementation.
Yeah, I think it's easier to discuss this during the implementation. It also depends on the individual fields of the Ironic API. I have not modified these, I think, but for example, I worked with the kernel parameters, and that's, for example, an ephemeral field in the API. So you can post something to it, but then you cannot retrieve what was the previous value, and it just goes through and gets applied, but you have no way to check it and all these things. So So I think it will depend on individual fields. But we already, for example, driver info in the BMO, we technically have the flow to reapply the driver info over and over and over again. And I think it's technically it is what is happening right now, or very close to it. So most likely these fields would be just always then once changed, then continuously that new value would be reapplied, and it would lose the old original or the default value that was set by Ironic at the node registration. I don't really see any better way to do it other than Ironic sets it up when it registers it first, and if you have some value here in this map, then it changes to that value, and then you cannot really revert back or
Yeah, I was more thinking about the values that are already set in the bare metal host through another field. Like you may be able to override things, I guess, using this host provisioner properties that are already like handled through a dedicated field.
Yep. Yeah, I see what you mean. I would yeah, that's a good question. If what we should allow for these properties. I mean, they cannot be applied the same way. Like what I want to say is that to begin with, to start discussing this problem, the different fields cannot be modified in one uniform way already. That's a problem when you talk with the API. Like not everything behaves exactly the same way. So I think it has to be decided on a case-by-case basis, because on this level, what we are discussing here so far is just that we allow this map to be reconciled there, but the individual key value pairs of the map has to be handled on a case-by-case basis. And I'm on the opinion that, let's say, the Ironic provisioner implementation should implement the handling of a few of these and then just ignore the rest, because as I said, they cannot be like these key values cannot be applied in a uniform way. That's my opinion, but we can go into the details during the implementation. So basically what I'm saying is you can put anything into this map, but only a small subset of the keys would be relevant or would result in any sort of change to the Ironic API.
Seems fine to me, and yeah, we will have the more in-depth discussion during the implementation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is kind of we don't really have many or we don't really have much of a history of like thinking about provisioners as an interface, because throughout the life of the project, provisioner basically meant Ironic, but how the provisioner interface is designed, it's extensible. So this might be a good exercise to exercise related to designating certain functions or documenting certain provisioner specific options, because we don't really have like even like a convention on how we document that certain things apply to a certain provisioner. So it will be interesting to see. Let's discuss this during the implementation. Okay, anyone else? No? Okay, then let's go to the archiving topic.
So this was already meant to be discussed last week, but I was unable to join. But as we have discussed in Slack, this repository has been unmaintained for basically 4 years, except some cosmetic changes on the CI side by yours truly. So just for the community final decision that this is okay, I'm bringing it here. So, and I think we have Ricardo at least, who has checked that any of users he knows are fine with it already, and we on the Ericsson side are fine with it as well. And but if you are not, then please say something.
Let me check chat. No comments. So is there anyone who has any objections related to archiving this ironic hardware inventory recorder image? There was also no objections on the Slack or in like direct one-to-one discussions. So I think no one has objected. So that means that we will, one of the maintainers will send a email onto the mailing list. I think we discussed 1 or 2 weeks of grace period.
I set the date to 1st of March, so it's a bit over 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, then I think we can go forward with this.
All right, thank you.
And then there is one topic from Ricardo related to this libdnf.
Just a quick update on the issue with the post-quantum cryptography signatures. These are like kind of the new standard of signatures that are going to be used more and more, like more often than anything else. And we are seeing this implemented also downstream in Red Hat. And it's causing actually some kind of trouble. So we have currently a couple of threads and discussions about that. The real problem here is that the old libdnf, at least for us, and not only for us but also Fedora is impacted. The old libdnf is it doesn't support the new signatures, and so when it tries to parse them, it just segfaults, and of course it crashes. The solution at the moment is to just ignore these signatures, which is what we're doing with the workaround that was merged recently. So that's at least the correct way to work around that issue. I'm trying to push for a fix downstream. That, of course, will be upstream as well. But considering that everything is now migrating to DNF5, I'm not sure that is going to happen, or it's going to happen soon. So we'll see. We'll see. I will keep you posted on this, at least for like to understand when we can remove the workaround, if we can remove the workaround. Thanks.
Thanks, and thanks for keeping us up to date on this issue and continuously working on it. I think your fix was merged just in time, because I started to see the first failures in the periodics today morning, but then we merged it soon enough so that there were only one periodic failing, at least in the MetaCube Jenkins. but I have seen the discussion on Slack. So thanks for both you and Tuomo.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anyone, any other discussion topics, or are we good to continue with the triaging?
I have one. Maybe if we have time, I was wondering if someone uses here. I mean, someone that is present here uses a chase setup of ironic in ironic operator basically, and if you do, how do you solve the DHCP server problem?
So my team has been looking at using HA deployment, but we use an external DHCP with Ironic.
Yeah,
So
this is basically what I was asking. Yeah, so in the chase setup, I mean, Metal3 suggests to use something external, right? But there are not a lot of options. If you're talking about purely software, and I was wondering what people use basically, right?
So we are using Kea from the ISC project, and we are also like building a custom bridge to actually configure Kea through its REST API based on Metal3's EPAM. So we allocate the IPs with Metal3 and we configure the DHCP dynamically. It's still very early, but I guess you could share some of our findings. But so far it looks like a pretty good model to actually decouple the DHCP from Ironic and use like existing custom resources to configure the DHCP.
I was also looking at this specific problem using Kea, and I have two concerns in that case. Maybe you will share my concern also. First one is there is kind of a boot P specific support in Kea that doesn't support all the hardware, at least according to the documentation. It's kind of like external as a plugin in Kea itself. I did not have opportunity to test it on real hardware, so as maybe someone, I mean, you probably also tested that, so if you can share details on that. And the second major concern that I have, apart from not this is not being a Kubernetes thing, right? You need to do either the database or something like that to work with, is the licensing itself. So basically, how do you solve that? Or in your case, you don't care about the licensing. I mean, the Kea itself.
Yeah, we haven't really thought about that yet. It's more looking at if we can solve it on a technical standpoint, and then yeah, but the licensing itself isn't really a concern for us.
Do you think we can collaborate on the Kea thing? Because I'm also interested in that specific thing, and I mean, if you're as a company okay with getting this as open source, I presume this would be some kind of Kubernetes operator to manage Kea.
So yeah, we have like in-house operators that are very, let's say, that business specific. That is, they encapsulate a lot of in-house logic. So not open sourcing the operator itself, but I guess it would be okay to collaborate on our findings regarding a dynamic configuration of DHCP, because like Kea has a DHCP itself, and like the bridge logic without actual code implementation should be okay to share. I'm not the one actually working on the actual implementation, but I will ping my colleague who works on that and see what he can share with you.
Great, sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for bringing up the discussion. Sounds very interesting. Anyone else? Anything else you would like to discuss? Okay, I think no. Then quickly let's check what we have in the triage queue. Mhm. Okay. See deployment manifest generated by deployed to see tracks latest instead of tagged version. That's kind bug. Okay, that is. I think that's self-explanatory. I think we can accept this one. I vaguely remember someone mentioned it also in the past. Anyway, next one, bubble up BMH conditions. Yeah, this is to make sure that actually CapM3 knows about the features and status and conditions of the BMHs. We have run into a few situations or use cases where CapM3 was actually oblivious to BMH features. I wouldn't say it's a bug. It needs support to be implemented. So it's a feature. Okay. Next one, link checker report. Oh, this is okay. This we don't have to triage. This is this link checker bot. I've seen this sort of report a long time ago. I will check later, and I will skip these link checker reports. By the way, if you are here, Tuomo, you might know how come this started appearing now. Was there something deployed or run related to this link checker, or
Link checkers run on schedule once per month.
once per month? Okay.
I guess it was just the time.
Okay.
And it seems to be that there's like one failed link, which is pretty normal because we check quite a few links, and of course sites have various sorts of bot detection mechanisms. So there's always something that gets caught up, but sometimes it's also real link failure in some old links. So I can check those. No worries.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, next one, support mixed infrastructure cluster. Yeah, this one we discussed. Well, I last time as we discussed it, I'm not really happy with this way as it was proposed here. And yeah, I'm in agreement with Adil as we discussed on last committee meeting. So I don't think we will go forward with this as we or most of us agrees that this requires a CAPI level solution or a custom solution, but it's not in the MetaCube scope. I will put well, I will put invalid on this as I didn't accept this one. but I won't delete the issue or anything like that. We might come back to this, or it might be useful in the future as a reference, but I don't think we will go forward with this one. Expose InfiniBand client ID. Okay. Ricardo, if you are still here, where is this InfiniBand ID displayed? Is it in the inspection data or where?
It should be in the inspection data, yeah. Should
Okay.
be. I need to double check actually, but yeah, it should be there.
Yeah,
I don't see the problem there.
yeah, me neither. And there is also already some implementation. Quickly, let me check. Yeah, in properties. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. And then temporary cleaning mode. Okay, folks are already discussing this one.
So maybe give a little of context.
Yes, please.
So with those claims, especially when we're trying to use them for node reviews, at some point we need to disable for those claims the cleaning mode. And the point is that if we think of the BMH as belonging to a shared infrastructure between their use between different users with those claims, we need to re-enable this cleaning. But we have one field, and to express both the temporary wish of those claim user and the more stable wish of the infrastructure admin. And so for security reason, it's important that the admin can keep what he wanted and is able to revert it to, on the BMH when those claim is deprovisioned. So we had different. We reviewed different mechanism with Dimitri, and that's more a summary of those discussions. But today we have not completely decided on what to do. There's a tentative proposal. There's a work in progress. But well, as Dimitri is not here, we still have to look at it, if it's the correct solution. And one of the ideas was to augment the consumer ref, but we are rather going to a path where we add a field, but to keep things to be sure that the temporary cleaning does not exist beyond the consumer ref. The idea is that this override field can only be set only if there's already a consumer ref set. And that's just a CRD constraint.
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
And then there's a question of the mechanism itself. It can go from something very imperative with annotation, and you just ask for temporary cleaning. You don't record anything, but it's a little hard to follow, to something fully declarative, but fully declarative to the point where it's not a specification of automatic cleaning, it's specification of the cleaning you're doing. So if you change a setting to something that is stronger than the cleaning you had, you have immediately a cleaning that is launched. And but Dmitry was against it because it changed the way automatic cleaning work today and could surprise user. So we're going to a path where you're still defining what will be done in the future with automatic cleaning. But if you move back from a point where you just deprovision bare metal with cleaning disable to a situation where, in fact, you are not under a host claim, but you're again given back to the pool of BMH. If in the pool of BMH a cleaning was supposed to happen, then this cleaning will be performed immediately as if automatic cleaning mode had been changed before. The point is that you can have a host claim, first deprovision it, and then give it back to the pool, and its content would not be erased because in the spirit of the automated cleaning, you're only speaking of the next cleaning and not the immediate one. That's why the fully declarative cleaning is, in my sense, cleaner because what you specify exactly what you get in the bare metal host. It's an invariant of the bare metal host. It's available and you have specified a given level of cleaning. It's what you currently have. It's not what you will have in the future. So the whole discussion is around this, and so far there's not really complete consensus. But the solution 2, at least it solves the problem for host claim. It's not completely great, but it really keeps the semantics of cleaning as it is today. And the prototype implementation, as I said, is somewhere in the work in progress merge request where Dmitry and I are looking if it's really working.
Okay, and is this consumer override only relevant for like, is it a generic, like, what I want to say that we are not talking about automated cleaning.
The idea is that in the future, well, today we really need for cleaning, but for example, for let's say firmware settings, if you're a user, of a host claim, you may want to change the firmware setting. But when you give it back, it would be nice if your BIOS settings, for the next consumer, is one that is defined by the infrastructure owner and not just a random thing. That you do not have to look at all the settings to put back your server in the working state that works for you. And so you have exactly the same kind of problem, is that your infrastructure needs a way to have a pointer to information that are to be kept. Probably same for red.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is relevant for many different specs, not just as you said, not just the automatic thing, but like firmware or even network data or pre-provisioning network data or any of these things. So yeah, so would it be reasonable to say that this override would be basically like another set of the specs, like maybe even all of the specs could be under this consumer override. So we would have a set of specs for just default and another set for the override. Would that be would that understanding be okay? Or would that...
Well, if we go too far, for example, I don't think that what you put in pre-provisioning is responsibility of a consumer, because running the IPA is really an admin settings, and he's the only one who knows what should go there. There's a lot, but it's not everything. And for the image, on the other hand, it's almost purely a consumer choice. There's no image between two to use. So I'm not sure I would put everything. I would say that it's kind of recursive on spec.
Okay, so
we may open security issues if we give too much power to the overrider.
Okay, so a hand-picked subset of the specs, like what you or whoever implements it will decide that what's reasonable. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with this.
Yeah. So from a quick reading, I was actually going to be more for the third solution, honestly. But I think like probably at this point 2 is better, just to keep like the legacy. Like 3 would mean changing a lot, like it's a more deep change, and like 2B is probably the best solution here. Like it's a good compromise as far as like we'll probably discuss more during the implementation for like all the concerns, but I think it's a good solution.
In fact, the change between 2 and 3 only occur when somebody change cleaning on an available node and to increase the level of cleaning. If you have already provisioned and you change the cleaning, 2 and 3 do not differ. So it's kind of well, for me, that's not something that should happen so often. That you're moving the cleaning mode and you don't want to apply it immediately because you were thinking of it for something you have not yet done. There may be some installers that are troubled by this change, but probably not many of them. But I agree that if we want to be sure that there is no impact to the wise choice.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question related to this one? And thanks for the explanation, Pierre. I think that there are already a lot of material on the GitHub discussion and then here for people to form their opinion and give feedback. I have accepted this one, and let's see if we have anything else left. There was the mix infra, and then this is old unresolved that is being discussed, and we checked it last time. I think all of these are, yeah, these are the old stuff. Okay, I think we went through all of these. And we are actually out of time. We are over time 3 minutes. So thanks for the good discussions. Is there anything that you would like to ask or discuss before we close the meeting? Anything in general? Okay, if nothing, then thanks for joining, and let's meet same time next week. And until then, have a great week, and bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.